Now, just remember from the last video how we talked about this square root property up here, that if you have this factor, think of it as this term as something squared equals something else. We end up with x minus 4 squared equals 5. We could take the square root of both sides and then finish solving for x. So completing the square is a process that utilizes that principle. So to do this, we set one side of the equation equal to 0. Then we make the leading coefficient equal to 1 by division if necessary. So we divide out the leading coefficient. Find the value of half of the second coefficient and then square that value. Make the final term equal to the value found in step 3 by adding or subtracting from both sides. So I do a little bit different than this. You'll see the process though. Factor the perfect square trinomial, because you will have that time created a perfect square trinomial, so we'll be able to factor that out. Factor the perfect square trinomial, take the square root of both sides of the equation, and move over any constant terms to solve for x. So you're making it towards something squared. Something squared equals a number, and then you can take the square root and finish it off. So the way I really approach this is, and let's take this example right here, x squared minus 6x equals 13. So I have x squared minus 6x plus some blank equals 13 plus the same blank. And whatever I add to this side, I have to add to this side to maintain the balance of the equation. So take that negative 6, this coefficient to x, the linear term, x to the 1 power, negative 6 divided by 2 is negative 3. And negative 3 squared is 9. So I'm going to put a 9 here and put a 9 here. So on the left, I've created a perfect square trinomial, which would just be x minus 3 quantity squared. So notice this 3 we got here, that's that same 3 we get here. Equals, and 13 plus 9 is 22. So if we have x minus 3 quantity squared equals 22, and we take the square root of both sides, x minus 3 equals plus or minus the square root of 22. I should put a plus or minus there. Then we can add 3 to both sides, and we have x equals 3 plus or minus the square root of 22. And that's the process. Now let me just give you a little warning. I'm trying to think what this next one's supposed to be because I don't see an equal sign, but give you a warning that this is not something we're going to do again and again and again. This is leading up to the next concept, which is the quadratic formula. So we're going to do a few of these, and then we're going to get up to the quadratic formula. In fact, that's the next thing. So I'm going to do another example here. Hang on a second. Let me look up, see where the equal sign goes. Well, I didn't see anything, so let's just go ahead and just say change that plus to an equal sign. Oh, I guess I need to use the, it's not something typed, it's typed. There we go. There. Oh, I did it again. Equals. There we go. So in this, I'll have my x squared minus 4x plus some blank will equal the 109 plus the same blank. And again, we're going to look at this coefficient to x is going to be negative 4. So we divide that by 2 to get negative 2. And negative 2 squared is 4. So I'm going to put a 4 here and a 4 here. And I'd have, on the left, I've created a perfect square trinomial. That's x minus 2 squared. On the right, I have 113. So if I take the square root of x minus 2 squared, that'll equal plus or minus the square root of 113. So x minus 2 equals plus or minus the square root of 113. And we add 2 to both sides. So x is 2 plus or minus the square root of 113. And that's it. Next video, we'll do quadratic formula.